Hello everyone, welcome back to Answer Physics class. In this lecture, we are going to discuss the comparison between series LCR circuit and parallel LCR circuit. Then we will discuss a small mathematical derivation for the power of the circuits. Then we will see what is choke coil. So these are the three simple topics that we are going to discuss in this video. First one is the comparison between series and parallel resonance. Comparison between the series LCR and parallel LCR circuit. By the configuration of the circuit itself, series LCR and parallel LCR circuits are little bit different, and due to that the behavior of series and parallel resonance circuits are also different. These LCR circuits at the natural frequency or at the resonant frequency, how it behaves is the matter of questions, and that's what we are discussing now. In both cases the impedances are resistive. In both cases at resonance in both cases the impedances are resistive, which means the inductive reactance and capacitive reactance are going to be vanished at natural frequencies, and this resistance is maximum. Parallel resonance, right? This resistance is maximum at parallel resonance, and this resistance is minimum at series resonance. That is, in parallel LCR circuit at resonance condition the resistance is maximum near infinity, while in the series resonance or series LCR circuit at resonance the resistance or the impedance is minimum, that is it tends to 0. Fine. So let's summarize some of the points related to series and parallel resonant circuits or LCR circuits. LCR circuit at resonance. So we are going to discuss the point at resonance. So series resonance, parallel resonance. Point number 1, series resonance is an acceptor one. It is an acceptor circuit. The series LCR circuit at resonance is an acceptor circuit. That is, at resonance the selected frequency can be separated out, and that could be used for some useful purposes like tuning the particular frequency in radio tuner, right? That is the series resonance. Whereas in parallel resonance it is a rejector circuit. It is a rejector circuit, so that at the resonance the desired frequency is suppressed, the unwanted frequency is suppressed. Here the wanted frequency is filtered out. Here this wanted the frequency that we are targeted, which you can say that unwanted, that frequency is rejected out. And in both cases the equation for resonance, the frequency, the equation for resonance frequency is same, that is 1 by 2 pi square root of LC is the equation for resonance in both cases. And third point, here at resonance, resistance is minimum, that is equal to the resistance of the circuit. What is that? In LCR circuit there is an resistor, capacitor and inductor. So at resonance the capacitive reactance, inductive reactance goes off, and the resistance, the effective resistance of the circuit is equal to the resistive component present in the circuit. Whereas here at resonance, okay, so actually in the circuit it's not simply resistance, it is impedance. So impedance is equal to resistance. Here at resonance impedance is high. How much high? It's equal to infinity. It's almost nearly equal to infinity. And the fourth point, right, at resonance frequency, again you can say that it is also a selective property. You can select a particular frequency, you can filter it out. Here also you can select a particular frequency, but you can reject it. Yes, tuning selected frequency, right? So at resonance we can tune resonant frequency. At resonance tune a selected frequency, right? At resonance we can tune a frequency which is matching with the natural frequency, selected frequency which is matching with the natural frequency, and we can filter it out. Why? Because at the natural frequency the selected frequency will exhibit the maximum current, and that can be easily filtered out. At the same time here at resonance the selected frequency at natural frequency, right, that is suppressed, it is to be suppressed. So at resonance this circuit exhibits the maximum resistance, so that low current. So the low current will be delivered in the output for the frequency which is equal to natural frequency of the system, so that that particular frequency is suppressed. Let me recall the resonance curve. So this is natural frequency, this is current, okay. So at natural frequency the current is maximum, that's why it is said to be selector circuit. When you look here at natural frequency the current is minimum. So this side is current, so current is minimum at natural frequency, so that it is said to be rejector circuit. So these are the some of the salient features of a series and parallel LCR circuit at resonance frequency. Then let's see power in an AC circuit. When there is an AC circuit that consisting of the inductor, capacitor and resistor, what is the power? So that's what we are going to discuss. We will see an expression for an average power. Power in an AC circuit. In an AC circuit, the current and voltage both are varying continuously with respect to time. So, power can be calculated for an instance. Then, average power can be averaged for a complete cycle. So, the expression for voltage in an AC circuit is E equal to E naught sin omega t. Expression for current is I equal to I naught sin omega t minus pi. Here the pi is the phase difference between current and voltage. Current and voltage in the AC circuit. Now, the equation for power at an instance, that is the instantaneous power, which is nothing but the product of current multiplied by the voltage. So, expression for current voltage is E naught sin omega t, and the expression for current is I naught sin omega t minus pi. So, let us say this is, if we take omega t equal to A, omega t minus pi equal to B, so that this will look like, you can rewrite this as E naught I naught sin omega t into sin omega t minus pi, so that it will look like sin A into sin B. If we take omega t equal to A and omega t minus pi equal to B, then this term becomes sin A and this term becomes sin B. So it looks like the product of sin A dot sin B, sin A sin B. For that, from the trigonometry we have the formula 1 by 2 cos of A minus B minus cos of A plus B. So this is the formula. If you apply this formula here, so it becomes 1 by 2 E naught I naught cos A is omega t minus B is omega t minus pi. So minus omega t minus plus pi minus cos A plus B. A is omega t plus omega t minus pi. Right? So that what will happen, omega t will cancel out in this term, and here omega t plus omega t, so it becomes 2 omega t minus pi. So this equation will be written like this: 1 by 2 E naught I naught cos pi minus cos 2 omega t minus pi. So this is the equation for instantaneous power. This is the equation for instantaneous power. Now we can write average power over a cycle is, we can write P average, that is nothing but integral of 0 to t, integral of 0 to t, then this one P at any instance into dt divided by integral of 0 to t into dt. This we can rewrite integral of 0 to t e into I, actually power, into dt by 0 to t into dt. So 0 to t into dt becomes, so integral of dt becomes small t, then if you are applying the limit it becomes capital T, so that you can write 1 by t 0 to t, so this ei becomes 1 by 2 e naught I naught, this term, okay. So 1 by 2 e naught I naught cos pi minus cos 2 omega t minus pi into dt, and we can take out this term to the left side, so that e naught I naught by 2t and integral over 0 to t cos pi minus cos 2 omega t minus pi into dt. Now we have to integrate cos pi and cos 2 omega t minus pi separately, so that becomes e naught I naught by 2t. This side cos pi is nothing but cos pi into dt, so this becomes cos pi is a constant, so that becomes cos pi t minus here cos 2 omega t minus pi, right. So first you have to integrate this term, then you have to integrate this term becomes 0, so that cos 2 omega t becomes sin 2 omega t, and integration of 2 omega t becomes 1 by 2 omega, right. So this is how we will get, sorry, here there is a pi, cos 2 omega t minus pi becomes sin 2 omega t minus pi when we differentiate 2 omega t term, and if you differentiate pi term, that becomes 0, okay. So cos 2 omega t minus pi becomes sin 2 omega t minus pi, and the differentiation of 2 omega t minus pi becomes 1 by 2 omega, that is given here. Now we can apply limits. So if you apply limit, this is at e naught I naught by 2t, here we have to apply limits. So cos pi, in the place of t we are applying capital T. In the next, cos pi multiplied by 0, anything multiplied by 0, 0 minus here sin 2 omega, in the place of small t we have to apply capital T, minus pi by 2 omega, and then we have to apply another minus, so minus it becomes plus, so that it is plus sin, here in the place of t we have to put 0, so 2 omega 0, so that what is remaining, 2 omega multiplied by 0, it becomes 0, so that there is a remaining is sin of minus pi by 2 omega, and this is the expression after applying the limits. So now omega is an angular frequency that you can write 2 pi nu. You can write the angular frequency in terms of linear frequency, so that you can write nu equal to wait, and the relation between the period t and the frequency nu is nu equal to 1 by t, so that omega equal to 2 pi pi t, or you can write t equal to 2 pi pi omega, so that we can substitute here. That is one point. And another point, sine of 4 pi minus pi, which is equal to sine of minus pi. Okay, 4 pi is nothing but 2 complete cycle, right? So that after 2 complete cycle, it goes to the point of origin, so that sine 4 pi minus pi, which is equal to sine of minus pi. So with this two things, if you apply it here, first let us apply 2 pi by omega in the place of t. Okay, so that here E naught I naught by 2 times, so it becomes 4 pi into omega into omega. Then what is inside? Cos pi into, in the place of t we can put 2 pi by omega, minus sine 2 omega into 2 pi by omega, minus pi divided by 2 omega. So omega will cancel out here, it becomes 4 pi minus pi by 2 omega plus sine of minus pi by 2 omega, so that this becomes E naught one by 4 pi E naught I naught omega into cos pi 2 pi by omega minus sine 4 pi minus pi. Sine 4 pi minus pi becomes sine of minus pi, so sine of minus pi divided by 2 omega plus sine of minus pi divided by 2 omega. So this will cancel out. So what's remaining? 1 by 4 pi E naught I naught omega multiplied by cos pi into 2 pi pi omega. So we can rewrite this as 1 by 4 pi E naught I naught omega into 2 pi by omega multiplied by cos pi. So pi cancel out, 2 and 4 we can divide, omega cancel out. So what's remaining is, so P average, so average power equal to E naught I naught cos pi. E naught I naught cos pi is the expression for, and there is an 1 by 2 here, that's missed. This is the average power. This we can rewrite as, you can write 2 is nothing but product of root 2 into root 2. Okay, so that here we can write E naught by root 2 multiplied by I naught by root 2 into cos pi. This is the another form of writing this equation. And E naught by root 2, it is nothing but root mean square value of the voltage. So we can write P average equal to V, or we can write E RMS. Similarly, this side I RMS into cos pi, right? So here this E RMS and I RMS are said to be virtual voltage and virtual current, and this cos pi is called power factor. Okay, so this is virtual voltage. This term is said to be virtual voltage, and this term is said to be virtual current, and it is called power factor. It is called power factor. So the average power of a circuit is said to be the products of virtual current and virtual voltage multiplied with the power factor. Or in other words, you can say that the power factor of a circuit is nothing but the average power divided by the virtual current and virtual voltage. And virtual current and virtual voltage, and together the product of virtual current and virtual voltage is said to be apparent power. So power factor can be said to be average power divided by apparent power. So you can say that, so cos by which is said to be average power divided by apparent power. Okay, and so that if we want to calculate the true power, we have to multiply apparent power with power factor. These are the things that you can redefine, right? You can say in different notations. Okay, fine. Inductor and capacitor. Inductor and capacitor in series, we can write like this. So if a circuit consisting of inductor, capacitor and resistor, then you can write the formula for tan pi, right? Tan pi, you can write the formula for tan pi as omega L minus 1 over omega C by R. Okay, so in that case, if you write the power factor cos pi, then it becomes this R by square root of R square plus omega L minus 1 by omega C the whole square. Okay, so this is how you can draw the diagram, right, for an inductor, capacitor and resistor in series circuits. You see, we are having a circuit. We are having a circuit which consisting of resistor, capacitor and inductor. So here resistor, capacitor and inductor. So here we can write the resistive component in the bottom adjacent side, and the capacitive and reactive component, inductive and reactive components, the impedances of capacitance and reactance in the opposite side, so that diagonal you can write like this. And if you write cos pi, that is power factor. What is the formula for cos pi? Adjacent side by hypotenuse. So adjacent side it is R. Hypotenuse we can write from the expressions of adjacent and opposite, square root of a square plus b square, that is equal to c, right? According to that we can write this expression, so that we can derive that cos pi which is equal to R divided by square root of R square plus omega L minus 1 by omega C square. Now let's see some special cases. Case number 1. if the circuit is purely resistive, if the circuit doesn't have any inductive and capacitive components, then the pi equal to 0. Okay, because there won't be lead and lag between current and voltage, so that pi becomes 0, so that cos pi is equal to 1, which implies that if cos pi equal to 1, then the true power is nothing but the product of RMS values of voltage and current, right? So the true power is nothing but E RMS multiplied by I RMS. Second case, if it is purely inductive, let's recall that the concept of civil. So in capacitor, current leads voltage. In inductor, voltage leads current. Purely inductive circuits, voltage leads the current by 90 degree. Voltage leads the current by 90 degree, so that current lags by 90 degree. So pi becomes 90 degree, cos pi becomes 0. If it is 0, cos pi is equal to 0, then the product will be 0. So the power, true power is 0. Third case, purely a capacitive circuit. Here I leads by 90 degree, so that pi becomes minus 90 degree. So cos pi becomes, here also it's 0. So for a purely capacitive circuit also, the current, true power, the current leads by 90, so the true power becomes 0. A circuit which consisting of capacitive and inductive, if a circuit consisting of a resistance and inductance, in that case this component will not be present, so that if this resistance and inductance will be in series, in that case we can write the pi, that is equal to R by, you can write from this equation, R by pi, which is equal to R by square root of R square plus omega square L square. If it is the case where resistive and capacitive reactance in series, resistor and capacitor in series, then you can write pi is equal to R by R square plus 1 by omega square C square square root. Okay, so these are different cases for pi in a circuit which is consisting of, different situations, right? And then let's define what is wattless current. What is wattless current? See, when true power is equal to 0, the unit of power, which is equal to watt. Okay, so wattless power means wattless current, the wattless current means the power is equal to 0. The power is equal to 0, right? See, here there are two cases. When the circuit is purely inductive or when the circuit is purely capacitive, in these two cases the true power of the circuit is 0, which implies that though there is a current flow in a circuit, net power, the product of RMS values of current and voltage, becomes 0 because of the lead lag properties of the current and voltage. In those cases, whenever we have the power that is equal to 0, in that cases the current flowing in that circuit is called whattless current. This whattless current, you can say that it is an useless current. It is an useless current, because when there is a whattless situation, then you cannot do any useful work with that current in the circuit, because the circuit draws no power into that. If there is no power drawn into that circuit, then the circuit will not perform any useful work. So this is what the basic idea of whattless current. So with that, let me stop here. We will resume back in the next lecture. Until then, be safe. See you.